Don't skip. Imagine yourself walking through a dense forest where light only trickles through thick canopies. The wind whistles past the branches, and the path ahead is full of sudden twists and turns. With every step you feel the challenge, your body grows weary, your mind heavy, and each stumble seems to follow you relentlessly. But amid all that darkness, there is a light that cannot be dimmed, one that doesn't come from the outside world, but from within you. It is your ability to stay calm, clear-headed, and steadfast in the face of every challenge. Stoic philosophy isn't just an ancient school of thought. It is a practical compass for navigating today's turbulent world. In an era where pressure, failure, and exhaustion surround us, the 11 Stoic principles we are about to explore will help you stay resilient, cultivate clear wisdom, and live true to your values. Each principle is a tool for turning obstacles into opportunities, pain into lessons, and chaos into inner peace. Watch this video until the end so that by the time you finish, you won't just understand Stoic philosophy, but also find practical solutions to live more proactively, powerfully, and meaningfully every day. Focus only on what you can control. 1. Focus only on what you can control. If life is a game of cards, would you choose to focus on the cards in your hand or keep worrying about the ones beyond your control? Let's be honest, we grow up in an era obsessed with the illusion of control. Everyone thinks that if you worry enough, if you try hard enough, everything will fall into place. But in reality, most of what keeps you up at night, your emotions, other people's opinions, economic shifts, politics, even tomorrow's weather, lies far outside your realm of influence. Epictetus, the master of mindfulness, once affirmed, "There are two kinds of things, our thoughts, actions and desires, and then external events, reputation and other people's judgments. When you focus all your attention on what you can hold on to, you'll feel lighter, more at peace, and your life will become clear instead of clouded by worry." But theory sounds easy. Practice is a different story. Remember the last time you were criticized or when a project fell apart. The urge to prove yourself, to fix the outcome, the frustration and disappointment. These are all normal reactions. Yet, the more you struggle to control what's out of your reach, the more you lose yourself. That's the subtle trap. We spend too much time in our heads with, if only if they just, or obsessing over a tomorrow that hasn't come. Stoic philosopher Epictetus once pointed out, "People are disturbed not by things themselves, but by the views they take of them. You can't stop the rain, but you can wear a raincoat. You can't control what others think, but you have full command over your own reactions and attitude. The more you resist reality, the deeper you sink into disappointment, helplessness, and insignificance. If I were your closest friend, I'd tell you, don't waste another second on what's already done or what was never yours to begin with. Face the truth head on. Accept it as a natural part of life, because the battle with reality always has only one loser. You might have heard of Acceptance and Commitment Therapy Act, a modern approach built around this very Stoic principle. Accept uncomfortable emotions. Commit to actions grounded in your real values. This is not just about healing. It is the art of living proactively, channeling your energy toward what you can actually control, building a genuinely meaningful life day by day. It's simple to say and harder to practice, yet you can begin right now. When you face a challenge, ask yourself, is this under my control? If the answer is no, release it. Don't complain. Don't argue with reality. If yes, then decide the next move, even if it is a very small action. Choose your battles wisely, and you will no longer end up feeling exhausted or defeated. Instead, you will save energy, protect your clarity, and slowly transform helplessness into quiet inner power. Real freedom is not about controlling everything out there, but about learning to master yourself. That is the foundation of any true achievement and of a life worth living. Second, don't suffer from imagined worries. It is rarely failure itself, but the fear of failure that slowly destroys your confidence and peace every single day. The world outside is already chaotic enough, but most of your anxiety is created inside your mind from worst-case scenarios that have not even taken place. You may not notice it, but punishing yourself with imaginary worries drains your strength, steals your sleep, and takes away the joy that exists in the present moment. You wake up on a Monday morning with a racing heart before a coming meeting. One part fears your boss's criticism, another part worries about your paycheck, and yet another part feels anxious about your children at school. All day long you stay tense, preparing for every possible bad outcome, but none of them might even happen. That is a common pattern in so many lives, living in an imagined future. Every time the mind drifts to dark possibilities, you lose a little energy and a little capacity to enjoy what is here right now. The irony is, you already know these worries will not change anything, yet stopping them feels impossible. Pause for a moment and be honest with yourself. How many evenings have you wasted on imagined work issues, conversations that never occurred, or fear of being judged by others? That is not living. It is building a prison out of invisible anxieties. If you ever listen to Don't Worry, Be Happy by Bobby McFerrin, there is a simple line. In every life we have some trouble, but when you worry, you make it double. Don't treat it as shallow optimism. It is a meaningful warning. The more you worry about things that never happened, the more you double your own stress. Choose to breathe, acknowledge the problem, and give attention only to what you can influence, instead of allowing negative assumptions to dominate your thoughts. The real solution is returning your focus to the present moment. When you notice your mind creating stories for disasters that haven't occurred, pause and ask yourself, has this actually happened? Do I have any real evidence, or is this only imagination? Then return your focus toward what you can influence, your actions and emotions in the present. Instead of drowning in vague fears, try a few simple habits every day. Take 3 deep breaths. Feel the air entering and leaving your body. Write down one thing you know is truly real today. Spend the last 5 minutes of your day noting 3 small things you're grateful for or satisfied with. I know worrying about the future isn't easy to give up. But remember, you only truly live when your mind and body are present in the same place in the now. You deserve that peace. Start with the simplest thing. When fear arises, smile and softly say, "Let it be." Then turn back to what's happening right in front of you. Move forward a little each day, and you'll realize that most of the worries that once held you back no longer have any power. And in the end, you'll find freedom right within your own mind. 3. Welcome success and failure. Welcome success and failure the same way. Same way. No one can escape those moments in life when you stand between 2 shores, one of dazzling success, the other of crushing failure. Most of us grow up believing these are 2 extremes, one to be proud of, the other to avoid. But to the Stoics, the truth lies in the calmest place. Success and failure are simply two sides of the same coin. Neither defines your real worth. At first glance, it sounds paradoxical, even hard to accept. Who doesn't love success? Who isn't afraid of failure? But it's our obsession with external outcomes that causes the emotional roller coaster. Blind arrogance at the top, utter despair at the bottom. Stoics view all external outcomes as ultimately indifferent, not truly important. The only values worth holding on to are your effort, your ethics, and the way you reflect on yourself in both moments of glory and bitterness. Few know that Alexander Fleming, who revolutionized medicine by discovering penicillin, reached his breakthrough because of an accidental failure in the lab. Fleming was not a scientist who succeeded from the very beginning. Before becoming the father of antibiotics, he faced countless failed experiments, stalled projects, and the doubtful eyes of his colleagues. Fate intervened in 1928 when Fleming accidentally left a petri dish of bacteria in the lab. Instead of despairing or getting angry at his carelessness, he observed carefully and noticed a strange mold where bacteria would not grow. Rather than seeing the accident as a waste, Fleming saw opportunity. He continued researching and ultimately discovered penicillin, the first antibiotic, which went on to save millions of lives. Here's a little-known truth. Success can easily make you complacent, deluded, and forget your real effort and values. Failure, by contrast, is the most patient teacher. It teaches you persistence, the courage to rise again, and how to examine yourself with humility. When you embrace both calmly, your growth is immense. Success provides experience. Failure gives a mirror for improvement. Both perfect you as long as you don't get swept away by pride or shame. Learn to see every outcome as a lesson, not a label to stick on yourself. When you succeed, celebrate, but ask, how did I achieve this? What should I keep and what should I develop further? When you fail, pause, look at yourself, identify the reason, but never lower your worth just because of one fall. Practice self-observation every day. At the end of the day, write down one thing you did well and one thing you could do better. Don't judge, just acknowledge. See both success and failure as guests visiting your life, coming and going, leaving behind priceless lessons for your journey of growth. The most important thing is to keep a calm mindset. When you remain tranquil in the face of every result, you truly master yourself, no longer swayed up or down by the outside world. That is the true power of a Stoic and the secret to moving forward wherever life may take you. 4. Each day just do one right thing. Each day just do one right thing. In a world where everyone is constantly chasing achievements, productivity, and endless to-do lists, there's a simple but profound truth that many people forget. Each day, just do one right thing. It doesn't have to be something grand. You don't have to change your entire life overnight. Instead, choose one small but right action and pour all your heart and focus into it. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the chaos of modern life? You wake up and find yourself stuck in a loop of work, responsibilities, and social media, and end the day not even remembering what you truly did well. That unease can make you doubt your self-worth, feeling like you're just existing, not really living. But change, growth, and even great success all begin from very small and right actions. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius once reminded us, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. It sounds simple, but if you truly live by this, you'll find yourself guided by a clear moral compass. Doing the right thing is not about earning others' approval. It's about self-respect, transparency, and laying a solid foundation for every future choice. Doing the right thing every day is a journey of discipline, not a one-time effort. It's being honest even when no one is watching. Having the courage to admit mistakes and actively make things right, speaking up against injustice and keeping your promises, even the smallest ones. These actions may go unseen by others, but they accumulate into character. And that character is what will take you the farthest, no matter where you are. I know there are times you might ask yourself, is it really worth it to do the right thing when everyone around me is taking shortcuts? But trust me, big results don't come from giant leaps, but from the steady repetition of small, honest, responsible, right actions day after day. Like an athlete who doesn't skip practice whether it rains or shines, you just need to stay true to your principles one day at a time. The solution is not complicated, but it's not easy either. Every morning, choose one thing you know is right. Whether it's helping a colleague, admitting a mistake, or keeping a promise to yourself, give that action your full commitment. Don't let yourself do it half-heartedly. At the end of the day, ask what right thing did I do today, and write it down, even if it's just a small act. The journey of living rightly doesn't need an audience, but it's what nourishes your self-respect, helps you stand firm against temptations and challenges. When you persist in doing the right thing each day, you build a solid foundation for both your career and personal life. Any big result, whether achievements or the trust of others, begins here. You may not see results immediately, but remember, true change comes from small things done consistently. Each day you choose to do one right thing. You are taking another step toward becoming your best self, steadfast, resilient, and worthy of the deepest respect, your own. Share the right thing you did in the comments to inspire others, and let's build the habit of living responsibly every day, together. 5. Always ask, is this really? Always ask, is this really necessary? Necessary. If you could only keep half of the things you do every day, what would you choose to keep, and what would you let go? Let me tell you about Evan, a friend of mine who used to be the very image of someone constantly busy. His days were a blur of endless to-do lists, filled with everything from must-dos to things nobody even asked him to do. Every night, Evan would complain that he had no time for himself, was totally drained, but couldn't figure out why nothing seemed to get real results. One day, under immense pressure, Evan decided to change. After asking himself, is this really necessary? He completely transformed the way he managed his time, cutting out useless meetings, delegating unimportant tasks, prioritizing projects that truly added value, and each morning focusing only on the 3 most important things. He also turned off social media notifications, made more time for his kids, exercised, and read books. Just a few weeks later, Evan found himself clearer-headed, full of energy, more productive at work with projects moving quickly, and a warmer, deeper family bond. He shared, "When I eliminated the unnecessary, that's when I really started living and taking control of my life one day, one decision at a time." It sounds simple, but making this question a habit is one of the strongest Stoic principles. Philosopher Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Because most of what we say and do is not essential, If you can eliminate it, you'll have more time and more tranquility. Imagine if every word, every action, every thought had to pass through this filter of necessity. How much would disappear automatically? You'd have less useless busyness, fewer pointless arguments, less impulse shopping, and less chasing after other people's approval. Instead, you'd gain time for what truly matters: self-development, caring for family, building your health, or simply enjoying a bit of peace for your mind. Every morning when you look at your to-do list, take a minute to ask yourself about each item. Is this really necessary? If I don't do it, what would happen? Have the courage to cross out, reduce, or delegate what isn't essential. It's not easy because sometimes we do things out of habit, out of fear of judgment, or just to fill an inner void. But once you commit, you'll feel lighter and freer. This principle applies to feelings and thoughts as well. Whenever you find yourself worrying, annoyed, or lost in daydreams, ask, is this feeling necessary? Does it help me right now? This is how you take charge of your life. Instead of getting swept up in meaningless cycles, remember what matters isn't the number of things you finish, but whether you're doing the right things. Like Evan, you'll discover, when you filter and focus, you live more intentionally, proactively, and effectively. You are no longer a victim of a soulless schedule, but the designer of your own life, one day, one decision at a time. And finally, if every day you only ask yourself one question, is this really necessary? You'll find life becomes lighter, clearer, and deeper. That's the greatest gift you can give yourself starting today. 6. Love your fate. Amore fati. Love your fate. Amor fati. We are only truly strong when we dare to face and embrace everything that comes our way, whether it's pain, loss, or unexpected twists in the road. This isn't a sweet consolation, but a statement of real weight. Life doesn't owe us anything, but we always have the power to choose how to face it. And amore fati, loving your fate, is the most powerful choice of all. Sometimes life is like an unannounced storm. You can do everything right and still get hurt. You can give it your all, but the outcome still depends on countless factors outside your control. There have been times you've asked, why me? Why is this happening? But what you need is not an answer, but a different perspective. Not everything happens to work against you. Many things happen to make you whole. The philosopher Epictetus once said, do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish that what happens happen the way it happens. Then you will be happy. It's a simple line, but it captures the spirit of our morality. Don't try to bend life to your will. Learn to walk with whatever happens with a proactive, mindful, and calm attitude. Try looking back at the major events in your life. Many things that felt like tragedies at the time later became turning points. A breakup helped you see what you really needed. A career setback pushed you to courageously change direction. A tough hand forced you to grow. Look closely and you'll see life is not random. It continuously gives the lessons you need to become the person you are meant to be. The problem is, we often resist fate through blame, fear, or attempts to control the uncontrollable. That resistance is what causes suffering. When you say, I wish things were different, you are fighting reality itself. And in that fight, you always lose. The solution is to release the need to control what isn't yours to control, not to surrender, but to accept and transform. Like the fire Marcus Aurelius described, everything thrown into it, wood, straw, garbage, becomes fuel. Similarly, adversity, when embraced, becomes strength. You can begin with small steps. When something unwelcome occurs, pause and ask, what can I learn from this? When you feel hurt, reflect, how is this emotion shaping me? In hardship, remind yourself, if I cannot change this, I can change myself. Gradually, you'll realize every event has purpose, and that purpose serves your growth. When you stop resisting, you begin to be free. When you see adversity as an essential part of life, you grow stronger. And when you learn to truly love your fate, not just accept it, nothing can defeat you. Amor fati does not make life easy, but it makes you strong enough to walk through trials with calm, clarity, and inner strength. From today onward, whatever happens, say quietly to yourself, if it comes to me, it belongs on my path. Keep moving with a heart steadier than ever. We want to thank and congratulate you for making it halfway through today's video. Your presence proves you are truly ready for this journey of personal growth. Stay focused and discover the last 5 principles to learn how to silence mental noise and move forward confidently towards self-mastery. 7. Be strict with yourself, generous with others. In life, no one is perfect, and no one passes all challenges without stumbling. What sets a strong person apart is the ability to be strict with oneself while remaining compassionate to others. It may sound simple, but in reality, it is a difficult path that demands both reason and heart. I used to set extremely high standards for myself and often projected them onto others. When I fell short, I blamed myself, pushed myself, and judged myself harshly. When others erred, I felt disappointment, struggled to accept it, and at times even became judgmental. Then I realized holding on to that mindset only isolated me, drained me, and slowly damaged relationships around me. That's when I learned the balance. Be tough on yourself, understanding with others, strict with yourself, generous toward others. This is the essence of Marcus Aurelius, who wrote, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." He did not say it out of pride, but as a reminder, hold on to your principles, cultivate discipline, and never slack off. Yet understand that everyone has their own path, their own hidden struggles. Being strict with yourself means setting high ethical standards, managing your time with discipline, keeping promises to yourself, not blaming others for your failures, admitting mistakes, and actively correcting them. Every day I ask, did I live true to my values today? Did I focus on what matters most? Did I honor my word to family, friends, and partners? Self-reflection is not criticism, it is growth. But strictness is not for judging others. When someone makes a mistake, I ask, if I were them in this situation, would I have acted differently? I recall my own past errors and clumsiness. Thinking this way replaces judgment with empathy, a desire to help, and an understanding that everyone is doing their best on their own path. Set high standards, maintain discipline, live in line with your values, and take responsibility for your mistakes. Set daily goals, control your emotions, act honestly and responsibly. When others stumble, focus on the positive, offer help, encourage rather than criticize. Ask, did they do their best? How can I help them do better? Living this way allows true growth. You develop yourself while maintaining deep, healthy relationships. Right strictness helps you go far, while timely compassion ensures you are never alone. Ultimately, maturity is not toughness everywhere. It is meeting life gently while holding firmly to your principles. This is a core rule for being stoic in a stormy world. Turn obstacles into opportunities. Imagine you are on a peaceful forest path when suddenly a giant rock blocks your way. Some people stop, complain about their luck, then turn back and give up. Some try to find a way around through the bushes, hoping to dodge the challenge. But others see the rock not as a barrier, but as an invitation to step over it, climb atop it, or even sit and enjoy a new view they've never seen from that higher vantage point. The philosopher Zeno of Citium, founder of the Stoic school, once reminded, difficulties are things that show a person what they are. Obstacles are not just barriers. They are opportunities for you to discover your hidden strength. That is the Stoic spirit. Every challenge, every difficulty is a chance to practice patience, courage, creativity, and to grow stronger with every stumble. In life, you cannot avoid moments where you're backed into a corner. Failure at work, heartbreak in relationships, feeling lost amidst sudden changes. Your first reaction is always disappointment, anxiety, maybe even fear. But ask yourself, has anyone ever truly grown up without facing hardship? What makes the difference isn't how many obstacles you face, but how you respond to them and turn them into your teachers. There was a time in my life when it seemed every door had closed. Plans fell apart. My career stalled. Cherished dreams were shattered. I wanted to complain, wishing for more luck. But then I learned that every time I faced a challenge, if I paused and really observed, I discovered something new about myself I hadn't known before. Endurance, adaptability, creativity when cornered. Step by step, it was the difficulties that trained me, forced me to change, improve, and grow more than any smooth project ever did. Whenever you face an obstacle, instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" Write down the biggest obstacle you're facing right now. Then list 3 positives or 3 skills or virtues you will gain by overcoming it. Remember, no one succeeds without stumbling, and the most resilient people always turn failures into springboards. When you change the way you look at difficulties, you transform yourself from a victim into a creator taking charge. Obstacles are no longer an end point, but a reminder that there is always another path. Sometimes a step back to gain momentum or a detour to see the world from a new angle. Don't avoid or rush past obstacles. Observe, learn, and be patient with yourself. Often, the moments that feel like the end are the very starting points for your greatest changes. Every rock in your path, if you use it right, becomes a step that takes you higher, stronger, steadier, and more confident than before. Who knows? One day you might even be grateful for the obstacles you once thought would defeat you. Have you ever faced a rock in your life that at first seemed insurmountable? Share in the comments how you faced it and what you learned from that challenge. 9. Reflect on death. Memento mori. Reflect on death. Memento mori. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, if tomorrow were your last day, how would you live today? This isn't a scare tactic or a way to dramatize life. It's a sober warning, because none of us knows what lies ahead. Memento mori. Remember that you will die is not a gloomy philosophical idea, but a wake-up call for those unconsciously letting their days slip by without ever truly living. The truth is, most of us live as if we have infinite tomorrows. We delay apologies, put off starting new projects, forget to hug our parents tightly, miss priceless moments with our children, or waste hours in pointless arguments and nameless worries. Life never waits, and time only flows in one direction. In Western art, there is a painting called Still Life with a skull by Philippe de Champa. A tulip symbolizing life, a skull for death, and an hourglass for time. These three images, side by side, remind us life, death, and time always walk together. And precisely because life is finite, every moment becomes precious. Thinking about death doesn't make you pessimistic. On the contrary, it helps you set priorities, say no to the meaningless, and find the courage to live honestly. You'll call your loved ones instead of letting concern wait another day. You'll stop putting off the journey you've always wanted to take. You'll forgive, let go, and start anew. You'll live as if every day is a gift, not a guarantee. Let me tell you about a friend of mine named Joe. After losing his mother to illness, he said, "My mum's last photo is both sad and beautiful. It holds both weakness and a warm smile, pain and love." That moment made me realize only by accepting life's fragility do we dare to love every minute we have. That line always gives me chills because it contains both truth and grace. Death doesn't take away life's meaning. It's what gives life meaning. You don't have to live haunted by thoughts of the end, but make a simple habit. Every morning, ask yourself, if today were my last day, how would I live? Suddenly you'll be less petty, less likely to procrastinate, and less worried about trivial things. You'll love more, live more fully, and spend your time on what really matters. Write down what you don't want to carry with you if tomorrow were your last day. Anger, misunderstandings, regrets, or toxic relationships. Then write down what you want to do today. Call your parents, spend time with your kids, hold your loved one's hand, start the project you've been putting off, or simply sit and enjoy a peaceful afternoon you've long forgotten. Memento mori doesn't teach you to fear death. It teaches you to cherish life. It teaches you that every moment is a one-time only event. And it teaches you that to live fully, you must always remember you are not immortal. Only by facing death do we truly begin to live. And today, this very day, is the place to begin. Listen first, speak later. 10. Listen first, speak later. In a world where everyone is in a rush to express their opinions, few people have the patience to truly listen. People interrupt each other, just waiting for their turn to speak, while nobody really understands anyone else, and nothing ever changes. But if you've ever sat silently in a meeting full of arguments or at a dinner table where all the voices blend into chaos, you'll understand why listen first, speak later is one of the most important Stoic laws for modern times. Listening may seem simple, but in reality it's an art. It requires you to set aside your ego, your opinions, and even your urge to prove yourself right. I've realized many times that I missed countless important things just because I was busy preparing a rebuttal instead of truly understanding. More than once, a friend simply needed to be listened to, and that alone helped them solve their own problem, while my advice or arguments became unnecessary. The ancient Stoics understood this well. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." The value of words isn't in their quantity but in their quality. And every word is precious only when spoken after true understanding. Successful people, great leaders, and the most respected friends are often those who know how to listen. They don't rush to judge or jump into arguments. They listen to understand, to see the heart of the matter, and to make others feel respected. So listening isn't just a skill, it's a sign of maturity and humility. When someone shares, focus completely. Don't interrupt and don't think about what you'll say next. Look them in the eye. Notice their emotions and body language. When you feel the urge to debate or give advice, ask yourself, do I understand enough? Maybe I need to listen more or ask more questions. If you feel impatient or annoyed, remind yourself, now is the time to listen, not to show off. You'll be surprised to find that simply by listening, your relationships become deeper and more resilient. By understanding the real issue, you'll choose your words more carefully and avoid hurting or misunderstanding others. Words spoken after enough listening will carry more weight and have more power to persuade and move people. Sometimes what people need is just to be heard, not to be fixed. Sometimes you'll learn something new from people you thought didn't understand you. And every time you practice listening more and speaking less, you not only build better relationships, but also develop patience and humility, qualities essential for true maturity. This world already has too many people speaking, but not enough who know how to listen. Try becoming that person, and you'll see change not only in your conversations, but also in your own journey of growth. When you learn to listen first and speak later, you learn to pause, observe, understand, and from there, every word you say will be meaningful, every action timely, and every relationship strong. That is the power of purposeful silence, of the Stoic spirit in a chaotic world where too many people only talk without listening. When you master this, you don't just become trustworthy, you become the strongest and most complete version of yourself. 11. Practice daily self-examination. Practice daily self-examination. Imagine a quiet moment at the end of the day when the city sinks into silence. You turn off the lights, set aside all the noise, and you're left alone with your own quiet thoughts. This is the moment when all your social masks fall away. All the roles you played during the day end, and your truest self faces itself. This is an important moment, the beginning of self-examination. One of the most powerful laws the Stoics gave the world. Practice daily self-examination. We live in an age where everyone is rushing forward, rarely pausing long enough to look back. But if you never look back at yourself, how do you know if you're on the right path? If you're growing or just standing still? Seneca once advised, "When the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, aware of this habit of mine, I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said, hiding nothing from myself, passing nothing by." He saw self-examination as the key to self-improvement and the secret to a peaceful, untroubled sleep. Apply this in real life. At the end of each day, instead of mindlessly scrolling your phone or losing yourself in endless shows, spend a few quiet minutes asking yourself 3 simple questions. What right thing did I do today? Is there anything I said or did that was wrong that I regret tomorrow? What do I want to change or try harder at? This may seem small, but it's like the words from Michael Jackson's song, "Man in the Mirror." If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. Every change, every bit of growth starts with an honest look at yourself. It means facing your weaknesses, not denying your mistakes, and most importantly, never stopping the encouragement to keep trying every day. Self-examination is not self-blame or self-torment. It's a chance to review your day, recognize moments you rose above yourself, and honestly see what you still need to change. You don't have to be perfect right away, just a little better every day. By steadily noting each small step, you'll be surprised by the power it builds. Growing calmness, sustainable self-respect, and most importantly, a sense of control over your own life. Set a reminder to self-examine each night. It could be a few lines in a journal or just 5 minutes of silence before sleep. Don't overlook the good things you've done. Acknowledge them, appreciate them, so you know you deserve that quiet pride from what you've realized. Set a small goal for tomorrow. It doesn't have to be grand, just clear and practical. Daily self-examination is a quiet but steady step on the journey of self-improvement. No one sees, no one applauds, but you'll feel the difference in every decision, every relationship, every peaceful night's sleep. It's a gift you can give yourself every day for a lifetime. The journey through 11 brutal Stoic laws. Conclusion. That'll rewire your mind. Every day makes one thing clear. Life isn't always fair, but you always have the power to control how you respond. From focusing only on what you can control, not suffering over imagined worries. Embracing both success and failure equally. Doing one right thing every day. Questioning what's truly necessary. Loving your fate. Being strict with yourself but compassionate with others. Turning obstacles into opportunities, reflecting on death, listening first and speaking later, to practicing daily self-examination. Every principle aims at helping you live more mindfully, proactively and powerfully. Each principle isn't just a philosophical suggestion. It's a practical tool for building mental strength, emotional control, and finding peace amid chaos. Which principle will you apply in your daily life? If this post inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next Stoic lessons. Share your own experiences in the comments and keep watching the videos displayed at the end to keep building your wisdom, inner strength, and the journey toward becoming the best version of yourself.